Very good. Okay. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is a tremendous honor and privilege tonight to be able to have Rabbi Dr. Abraham Levy with us. My predecessor, Rabbi Levy, served the Spanish and Portuguese community as spiritual head for over 35 years. And he was involved and working with the Kahal for over 50 years. For me, I want to speak in personal terms tonight. For me, he has been not only a dear friend, but a mentor, a teacher, and a guide. And I am so very grateful for all that he has done to support me and to invest and to teach me. What I have learned from him has been absolutely invaluable. I remember, there's this image that I have, Rav, in my head, that the first day that I put on a top hat, you were with me and you took me into the restroom very quickly. We looked in the mirror and you showed me exactly how to position the hat. And that image stands out for me always, is my, you kind of taking care of me and showing me the way. And
how you did it very elegantly.
Thank you, Rav.
Yes, he looks all right, not well.
Thank you, Rav. Can we make sure, actually, we're going to make sure that everybody mutes, please. Yeah, great. So Rav, tonight we're talking together about what, in knowing, is probably one of the most important people in your life, meaning one of the most important figures that you have learned about and that you have promoted and taught about, and that's Sir Moses Montefiore. And I want to speak with you about him in conjunction with the Kahal, with the S&P and the work that he's done. But Rabbi Levy loves the Spanish and Portuguese community. I mean, to give you an idea, when we go to his home, he serves us on Bevis Marks placemats. His cufflinks have the emblem of the S&P on them. Rabbi Levy knows and loves the S&P like no other. And of course, one of the most major figures in the S&P's history has been Sir Moses Montefiore. And Rabbi Levy has Sir Moses's coat of arms embroidered on the corners of his talet, beautifully done by his late wife Estelle. Rabbi Levy, Sir Moses is so important to you. Can you tell us a bit? Let's open a bit about why he's so important to you. Why do you feel that he's such an important figure?
I think that Sir Moses was great because he cared for others. He was a man who was exceedingly rich, and he tried to do whatever he could to improve the Kahal, and particularly the Montefiore College, which was in Ramsgate. It was the Montefiore College that over the last 30 years have produced countless young men who are now in the rabbinate. What happens is very simple. They would come to join the Montefiore College, and there they would be instructed in Torah. And after a year or two, these boys were future rabbis. And in reality, if you count the number of rabbis that the Montefiore College has produced, it is very, very large indeed.
Indeed. And it's really amazing because Sir Moses, I think, at the beginning of his life, if I understand, wasn't so observant, but he traveled to the Holy Land. He traveled to Israel in 1827, and it made a really big impact on him. And he became observant to the point that you'll tell us more about this, but didn't he have a shochet that traveled with him?
That is the idea. He had a shochet that traveled with him. He had other religious people traveling with him. And he always found a way to keep the Torah. one of the most incredible stories
Mm.
was that he found himself in the days of Pesach in a boat which was stuck in Malta, making its way to Israel.
Wow.
And he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. So quickly he tries to find out. And we find that he was able to get out of that mess and still keep Pesach properly.
Hmm.
And for that, of course, he is remembered so very much. Because,
It's remarkable, yeah.
yes, he was incredible.
I mean, it's remarkable that he, in his position, he had such dedication to Torah and to mitzvot. And I mean, the philanthropy that he did, which we will speak about in a moment, was I mean, monumental, to say the very least. But the fact that he had such dedication to Torah and mitzvot, wasn't there a story about Queen Victoria sending him?
Yes. These are, some of them may be apocryphal.
All right.
But, Queen Victoria, as a young girl, used to be Sir Moses's a neighbor. And he wanted to show great honor to the girl who would become queen and do something that would be meaningful. So he got hold of the lock of the actual synagogue in Ramsgate and made a gold copy of that to give to who was to become Queen Victoria.
Wow.
And to this day, I have talked to some people and they have actually found the key.
Really?
There's a bit of doubt
Right.
because there are 2 or 3 keys in the British Library, all looking the same. So we discussed it a lot, and then it was felt this particular one was the one.
Wow.
And Sir Moses had given it to Victoria when she was a young woman.
Amazing. You mentioned to me that you told that story to the Queen when you met her.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah, amazing.
The Queen has been around a long time, and I've had the honor to show her around and to tell her about different things.
Lovely.
And she was fascinated about this key.
This key, yeah.
So I said to her, the Queen, we've got to try to find it.
Yes.
And immediately she gave instructions to everybody to see which gold keys were in the archives of the community.
Amazing.
We found 2 or 3 of them, and by conjecture more than anything else, we thought that one had been rather worn out, and that may have been the key that he had given to the future Queen Victoria.
An amazing story nonetheless. And I know that they said that Queen Victoria would send venison to people, but Sir Moses made sure to send his shochet over.
Yes, that is a wonderful one. That, I think, really shows the man, because he was a man who had to be at one with his God, his people, and his country. And there was an old tradition that in England, they would have a gold key which would be presented to future mayors of Ramsgate. And what happened was that eventually they found one which was the one, or we thought, and we still have it. But
isn't it amazing that how you say, Rav, how you say that he was one with his God, with his people, and with his country? And what? Yeah,
I always say he was a passionate Jew and a passionate Englishman.
Isn't that an example? Is that not an example that we should emulate?
That is what I've tried to do all my life.
So would you say that that's a major legacy of his?
I think that is one of the greatest legacies, because Moses was exceedingly rich, and he wanted to do mitzvot in the best way possible. And there's the one that you said that he once had to meet the queen, and it was a time when he had to be presenting the queen with a key.
And Rav, can I ask you, one of the connections, and we're very, very grateful that that Sir Moses has with the Chabura, is that the endowment is a great support for the Chabura. And what is the values that the Sir Moses had around Torah and the study of Torah? You said that he started the rabbinical college, and he also, his endowment, what was his goals? What did he hope the endowment to be able to help and support?
There is no doubt in my mind that Sir Moses Montefiore was a fine character. As I said, he feared his God and honored his queen. And the story which we can go over is the one of slaughtering a calf. There was a tradition in England that the queen received a golden key from mayors of Ramsgate. And one year, the key got lost. And we were looking everywhere for that key. And eventually, it was found near Sir Moses, and he immediately picked it up and said, "This is for my queen."
Amazing. He also did a great deal of work in Israel, in the Holy Land. And did he not? He established the first neighborhood outside of the walled city called Mishkenot Sha'ananim. Can you tell us a bit about Mishkenot Sha'ananim, Rab?
Absolutely. What we've got to realize is that Mishkenot Sha'ananim, without him, would never have happened. He was
hoping to help the poor.
He was helping to help. Indeed, he wanted to help the poor. So he said, I know what I'm going to do. I am going to build 12 little houses and a windmill. And he would give those little houses to people in need. So at least they knew that particularly those who loved Jerusalem and couldn't afford to be in Jerusalem, he said, no problem. If you can't afford it, I will solve it by building these little houses.
Wow. So he
And
created housing for the poor in
he
the Holy Land.
created housing for the poor.
Wow.
And it's very interesting because to this day, and you've been there, to this day, the Montefiore College still learns
Mhm.
in the very room that Sir Moses Montefiore said his prayers.
Oh, wow. It's really remarkable. It's really remarkable. And I read as well, and I think you had mentioned to me that he wanted, even in Mishkenot Sha'ananim, for the Sfaradim and the Ashkenazim to live together, for them to. Did he feel that was an important ideal?
It had to be 6 and 6.
Wow, really? That much?
And they could only be given to 6 and 6.
Wow.
So if there was one empty Ashkenazi one,
Mhm.
a Sephardi could not be appointed to
Wow.
fill that until he was able to get the people. And
So he used his prominence to be able to kind of break the rigid isolation between the Sfaradim and the Ashkenazim.
absolutely. And
But
respecting both the same.
Wow. And I heard, and you told me once that he used to pay a higher dowry when a Sephardi would marry an Ashkenazi.
That is a story, yes. I'm not quite sure if we have authenticated that.
Oh, right. Okay.
But definitely they would get a much bigger dowry.
Yeah.
To
So he
show
really wanted
unity.
to create Achdut. He really wanted to create...
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
And you know, when you go to the windmill and you see that was also symbolic of the poor, because originally the windmill was a place to make bread for the poor. And for many, many years, it was tried. Recently, when we have more to do with Mishkenot Sha'ananim, I tried to see if we could still make bread there. We couldn't, but what I did was that I made sure that in the little shop at the bottom of the windmill, there would always be things from Sir Moses Montefiore. There would always be something to connect him with Mishkenot Sha'ananim.
Yeah, I know nobody who has done more to keep his legacy and memory alive than you, Rav. And absolutely, I mean, and so important what it is that he's taught. He was such a towering figure, both in his thoughts and his physical stature. He was 6'3". He was a very tall man. And let's talk a little bit about what he did here in England, in Britain. I mean, he was both in the Jewish community and outside. I mean, like you say, he was an extremely wealthy man. He was president of the Board of Deputies for over 39 years.
Something like that. You couldn't get him to resign.
Yeah. What did he do? What would you say were some of the things that he did for England, for the Jewish community here?
Sir Moses really helped anybody who needed help. And whether Sephardi or Ashkenazi, or Jewish or not Jewish.
Wow.
Very, very keen indeed. And we have to be very careful. Once he was on his way to Israel, and his boat got stuck in Malta. And they didn't know what to do, and they couldn't move anywhere. And Sir Moses started praying to God, and sure enough, within minutes, the boat started moving.
Well, when you do the kind of tzedakah that he did, when you do the kind of tzedakah that he did, I would imagine that the tefillah would be heard very, very, very clearly and easily. How about didn't he have many Sifrei Torah? Tell us perhaps a bit about his Sifrei Torah.
Yes, he believed in having one Sefer Torah made for him per year. And it was his pleasure to write the last 3 words of a Sefer Torah, which is very common. And you can see it is badly written. He said, no, I'm not going to write the last 3 words. I'm going to write the last 4 words because it's Moshe.
Yes.
Holy Israel.
I love that.
That is how he preserved that tradition.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, it's till today, the seat of Sir Moses Montefiore at Bevis Marks, because he was at Bevis Marks, he was a leader of the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's roped off. Nobody's allowed to sit there.
Oh, absolutely. And the only person who has sat there was the Lord Mayor of the City of London. He came for a special service. As you know, there's all candles. So it's quite magnificent when it is alight.
Yeah.
And he ensured that the candles were all on. And on that occasion, only on that occasion, at the seat of Sir Moses, they took away the little rope there. He allowed someone to sit there.
Yeah, no, it's well known. It's sacrosanct. Nobody sits in Sir Moses's chair. And it's, Sir Moses was Italian. He was born in Livorno, because although his family lived here, they were there on a holiday or on a trip, and he was born there and he came back. He was a Western Sfaradi. But he helped so much of the East. Yeah, I mean, we see in writings from rabbis and poskim and so many different people such great things to Sir Moses. I mean, it's unfathomable really to think how much he populated and helped and supported and yeah.
It is incredible.
It's incredible.
What we have been able to do with his money.
And isn't that amazing? His money is still functioning.
Not only is it functioning, but I'll give you 1 or 2 examples.
Yes.
I'll give you 1 or 2 examples. For his Ramsgate synagogue, he bought already antique bells.
Oh my.
Now these rimonim are valued today at around £750,000 each.
Oh my.
So it's a big problem. At Bevis Marks, we don't use them because of security. The same with Lauderdale Road. And it is only on very special occasions that it is brought out, particularly for Kal Nidre.
Yeah, it's really, when you think about the history of the Kahal, it really is staggering when you think about it. Who was there? And Sir Moses, he so strongly embodied the real ethos of the Kahal, because when you realize how careful he was with halakha and how important it was for him to keep the mitzvot, like you say, in the best way, how important it was for him to help everybody regardless of who was that needed help, how important it was for him to help his country and to serve his country well. Isn't that the amazing legacy that we should all draw from and learn from and kind of set as our model?
Indeed, which I always try to do, because the fact remains that he became an example in England, in all over England, of what charity was all about.
I mean, he's mentioned by Charles Dickens and James Joyce. I mean, he was not just a local figure. He was one of the most massive.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. It's really amazing. And it's remarkable to think that the funds that he started, with the Montefiore Endowment are providing such support for our Chabura till today.
That's
it's
it. The
unbelievable.
Chabura, and what about the number of rabbis that we are producing?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very excited. We're working.
We're producing rabbis from there.
Absolutely.
And it's all the money of Moses.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing. Rav, you have been such an example and a leader. And thank you so very, very much for taking this wonderful time to share with us. I know you have one special thing that you want to show of Sir Moses.
Yes, let me show you. That is probably the Kiddush cup of Sir Moses Montefiore.
Mm-hmm.
It is magnificent. Sir Moses loved this pattern, and we have already found all over England from antique collectors at least 10 to 12 of them.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah, and they all came from his estate. And I was very, very lucky that once I was just looking through some antique matters, and suddenly I see this cup. So very, very quickly I purchased it and read what is written at the side. Let me see if I can. את הכוס הזה, I'm not understand, a sign of אהבה ואחווה, and ברכה מעתה ועד עולם.
I don't know if you can see it.
So I
beautiful.
Found that, and then
and that was at auction. You got this at auction.
Sorry?
You got this at auction.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. And if I understand,
yes, and this Sean rightly gave it to me.
Yeah.
This is his actual private Bible.
Oh, wow.
And open.
I don't know how to open it. Oh, hold on.
That's his personal chumash.
Given to me by a member of his family.
Oh my.
And in this one, Sir Moses got hold of an Old Testament.
Ah, it's in English.
And somebody putting there Chamishi, Shishi, Revi'i. Can you see little more?
Oh, they put all of the aliyot. Yes.
That's right.
Wow.
The aliyot.
Wow.
And a little bit more. Let me see. Oh, yes. Here,
oh my.
Wrote
wow.
His name in very poor Hebrew. He couldn't write Hebrew very well.
And
but
that's his motto, think.
Moshe Montefiore.
Yes. And his motto, think and think.
Yes, think and thank. That's right. And
these his notes.
Here, he had notes put around different dilim that he wanted to keep.
Oh,
so
wow.
There's pages of dilim, all written for Sir Moses Montefiore.
That is remarkable. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Rob.
Yeah, this is one of my treasures.
It is absolutely what a treasure that is.
To my family, never ever must you sell this book.
What a beautiful treasure that is. Wow.
Let me just see what it says there. Given by Mrs. Robert Carvalho to Rabbi Dr. Abraham Levy on completion of 25 years service with the Spanish and Portuguese Jews Congregation of London.
Oh my.
And then it was passed on to different nieces of Sir Moses, and till eventually one of them said to me, look, the tradition is to pass it on to other members of the family, but I want you to have Sir Moses' Bible.
That is amazing. That is amazingly beautiful. Wow. Wow.
Yes.
That's so beautiful. And he had you, I remember you telling me he had a traveling sefer.
Oh, definitely.
A small one in a case, a sefer Torah.
Yes. Wherever you go, Sir Moses was doing good things.
Beautiful. On that note, Rav, I want to thank you so much for your time and for your stories and for your insight and wisdom. And thank you for everything that you do and have done for our Kahal, for so long, dedicated your life to all that we are and our strength. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu should bless you and the family and all that you hold dear, and you should continue to do your great work that you've done and do. And thank you so much for
thank you very much for all the nice words you also said. Thank you.
It's an honor. It's an honor, Rav. It's an honor, Rav. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.